Morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office made an arrest in a fatal shooting of the 14-year-old young girl. This morning, a 16-year-old suspect is in custody for her death. Derek Polanco Rivera was taken into custody at his home in the Egypt Lake area last night. This morning, he is facing a charge of second-degree murder. Rivera is a certified gang member, and due to him being a juvenile, I'm not able to disclose his criminal history. I want to take a moment to briefly walk you through how we got here today and what details I can confirm at this point in the investigation. Last Monday, June 17th, around 1:30 in the morning, deputies were called to a Walgreens at 128 East Brandon Boulevard. It was in the Walgreens parking lot that they found the 14-year-old girl in the backseat of a car with a gunshot wound to the head. After interviewing the three other young people who were in the car with the victim during the shooting, our deputies learned that the teenagers had just left a house party on Rolling Wood Lane in Valrico. A male occupant in the vehicle had a long-standing beef with our suspect, Derek Rivera. Detectives believe that's why Rivera targeted the car the young girl happened to be riding in. At the intersection of Kingsway Road and East Clay Avenue in Brandon, about a mile from the Walgreens, Rivera fired multiple shots, with one round going through the rear window, striking the 14-year-old victim in the back of the head. She was taken to Brandon Hospital, then flown to Tampa General Hospital in critical condition, where she died a day later. This murder is very tragic, unfortunate, and an unusual thing to happen in Hillsborough County. This young girl was not the intended target of our shooter. I understand that nothing I say can bring this young girl back, who was taken well before her time. Yet I hope by putting the individual responsible for her death behind bars, that her family, loved ones, and friends can now find even a minuscule amount of comfort or relief. I want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge the dedicated and tireless efforts of our detectives. Job well done. I wanted this case worked around the clock, no stone left unturned, to solve this murder quickly, and we did just that. At this time, I'll try to answer any questions. I don't have a lot of additional details I can put out, but let's give it a shot.
Sheriff, do we know what gang is the top one about this?
The suspect that we arrested? Yeah, he was a part of the TC Boys, a town and country gang.
Did he confess by any chance?
He did not. He invoked and did not want to talk to detectives.
The fact that a gun can get in the hands of a 16-year-old out on our streets, local streets, that's young, it's alarming.
It's very alarming. It's concerning, something that this office is very aware of. We have a unit focused to trying to diminish aggravated assaults here in Hillsborough County, and their sole goal is trying to get guns out of the hands of bad people.
Sheriff, is there any indication what the beef was, as you said, between the male in the car and Derek?
We're still working through that. All we know is they haven't liked each other for a long time, that they've had beef with each other. What that is or what prompted him to resort to this type of violence, we're not exactly sure. Still working through that at this point.
Were the other three passengers also teenagers?
I believe there were some adults in the car too. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, there were some adults in the car as well. Yeah, they weren't all teenagers. Some were 18 years of age.
And this gang, is this gang known for having 16-year-olds, teenagers, kids, being members?
This is a very loosely organized, I hate to even use the word gang. It's usually a group of delinquent juveniles that like to give themselves a catchy name. But at the same time, don't think I'm complaining. When we look at a county our size and we look at the amount of gang activity that they have in other counties compared to this size, we're extremely fortunate that we don't have the amount of organized gang activity here in Hillsborough County. But again, we take a very proactive approach in that. We have 4 detectives assigned to a gang unit, and they monitor the gang activity, monitor the illegal activity that is committed by these per se loosely organized gang members and take action. I know just since April alone in 2019, they've made 13 arrests of certified gang members and another 44 arrests on associates of gang members. So they're a very active unit, and they do a good job to make sure that we don't have a gang problem in Hillsborough County.
Do we know if anyone else was with Mr. Rivera? Could anyone else possibly be facing charges?
No, we're certain that he was our shooter, and he's the one in custody.
Last question.
What makes you certain that he, I guess what ultimately led you to charging him?
I can't reveal that at that time. Like I said, this investigation is still continuing as we speak. There's a lot of details still to work through, but he was our shooter. We can confirm that at this point.
I'll take one more if anyone has.
Did you guys have video that maybe helped you at all? Video of the cars shooting ever at each other at that intersection?
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to look to try to get permission. I was trying to answer your question, but no, at this time, can't reveal that either because it's still too active. Like I said, we wanted to focus today, hoping that we can bring some closure and relief to the family. That just over a week later, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the detectives did an absolutely amazing job of putting an individual that was responsible for this shooting and this young lady's death in jail.
Did you find the gun that you believe he used?
I'm trying, Aaron, I'm trying.
He was the only one who fired shots. It wasn't like a.
Correct. No, he was the only one that fired the shots. Yeah, he fired several shots, but like I said, he's the shooter. He's the one responsible for the death. He's the one that's in jail. Thank you, everyone.
Type of gun?
What's that?
Type of gun?
We do know that, but again, we can't put that out at this time. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being here.
We'll be emailing out the mugshot too if anyone